keep in mind that this is not just any tutorial, but rather a guide to making better thumbnails on YouTube. And I'm going to show you how I make my workflow, from modeling to rendering to editing on Xp. I'm going to start up with Blockbench. So what you want to do is go to Minecraft Skin, create a new model, and obviously you see an option that says texture, and you'll see a model that says player wide. I'm going to choose slim for bedrock edition, and also you can choose any other texture such as mobs and so on, but we're going to be going with the skin. Once you do that, you want to go to imports and just import a texture. I have a sword texture in my inventory, but literally you can use any pack texture at all. Just download the full zip, then confirm, and we're going to be working on the pose itself. We're going to put the sword away. We're going to just adjust the sword to see how it looks on the player. You can also import armors and leggings as well, so like you can import literally armors and shields and stuff, but we're going to use the sword today. So we're going to reposition the sword. It should be about 90 degrees like that, and we want to just put the sword on the player so you see how it actually looks. Just put it down like that, and we want to 5 degrees, there we go. And as soon as you got what you need, you need to put your sword on the players, and like that, and adjust it to the player. Like this should be, it's not well placed actually, we should really like that. There we go. Something like this. Yeah, that's good enough. Now, if you want to pose, I recommend using actions and stuff, which I use for my references, which makes Minecraft look scuffed, but a little better, like a lot better than just robotic animations. With this pack, you can tell the expressions of different mobs, such as villager. As you can see, you can actually see how it's walking, which is totally different, the expression, blinking, and so on. You can do it from other mobs, such as creepers, piglins, and this is the beta pack, so you actually have to pay for it, which is $1.99 in the marketplace. But if you can't have that, you can just use a reference of Minecraft animation trailers. So what you want to do here is select the head layer. You want to just hide all these extra layers, you know, just to not confuse you. Now, you want to just adjust the head a little bit up like that. There we go. We're trying to make a running pose here, so there we have it. Something like this. Then we want to select the diamond layer. You want to remove the diamond for a little while. Just going to keep that aside, just over there. Shouldn't be too far from the player. And then we want to focus on the player itself. So posing is really important in Minecraft thumbnails, so you should be really precise when posing. It's all about proportion. Now we want to move the right arm forward like that, and want to just adjust it a little bit more, something like this should be alright. Then you can just adjust the arm a little forward, not too forward. I don't want to make it look horrendous. And we want to also just adjust the arm, so I don't focus on it, just like that. That should be alright. That should actually be alright. Let's just adjust a little bit down. Something like this. This angle should be okay. You can lower it or increase the height, but this is alright. Now we'll move on to the next arm. We'll do the same thing. We want to adjust it backwards this time because it's running. So something like this. And you want to adjust the arms, something like this. Something like that. That should be alright. Something like this should be what you want. Then on the legs, now the legs, this should be backwards a little bit first, and then you can work on the other leg, which should be forward just a little bit. And now you want to just use the gizmo tool and want to use the render tool actually, and just adjust it back. I want to adjust this back a little bit like that. Something like this should be alright. Actually, we want to like just increase it actually I want to move it down, just down a little bit like that. Should be alright. We're still gonna adjust this on Nomad though, if you aren't happy with your pose. So we're still gonna adjust this on Nomad. That should be it. That should be about it. Then we want to do the same thing for the left leg, but this time it's forward and it's coming out. So we want to adjust that there, and we want to just use the renders tool, move it up like that, and just slightly a little bit like that. Then we want to adjust it. We want to adjust it. Just out like that. That should be what you get. Yeah, that looks good. I'm gonna move it down a little bit if you want to. Actually, it's kind of optional. And just a little up, something like this should be okay. Okay, so it's the wrong layer, head layer, and it should be. Oh, that's too horrendous. You should not be looking too like an angle. A certain angle should be like this. Like I said, you could still render this on Nomad if Blockbench is not that comfortable, but I do recommend Blockbench because it's more precise, and it should be like this. Should be alright. Then there you go. Now you can adjust your sword. Now once our sword is adjusted to the player, you could just unselect. You could just unselect all this, and there you go. Your player is ready. It should look like this. Once you are happy with your player, you want to export it. You want to export GSF model, undo export animations, and confirm. Now that you're on Nomad, you want to open the model you just downloaded and rename it to a different name. So we're going to remove TXT. I'm just going to adjust the keyboard just a little bit. We're going to remove TXT and replace it with project. Just put project there. You can literally put anything, but we're going to put projects right now. And once you've done that, you want to open image, and you should see an option that says Nomad Sculpt. You should have this downloaded before doing this though, and always. And there you go, your model is imported. Now we can do some few renderings here. It's not to my perfection, so I'm gonna do a little rendering here. I'm gonna select the right leg layer, if I could find that, there we go. And what we're gonna do here is render the leg. Keep in mind that the character and the background are the most key important parts of the thumbnail. So this is the character, which is really key. Now we gotta just render the leg a little bit up there. That's what I want, and put this back. And we want to just put that out there. We want to put this inside because, you know, it's not my taste. You want to put this back a little bit, just like that. And you want to select the left leg layer. You want to do the same. I'm just taking inspiration from the actions and stuff on Minecraft animated trailers. You could watch that, which is really helpful compared to the default Minecraft poses. And you want to have that. You want to have something like this, which is, well, all right, I guess. This is actually okay. This should be all right actually. Now you could select. Now we're gonna add lights first. We're gonna add a light source, and we could actually adjust this light source. So I'm gonna adjust it to 3. I'm gonna adjust it to 3. Depending on the background is how you adjust this. So 3, just about. It's about that. That should be alright. Then there you go. You could also change the color. This is what I do for every single render of mine. So you should have something like this. And you could really adjust the lighting from the top to the bottom or from left to right. It really depends on you, depending on your thumbnail. But we're still gonna add lights in on the thumbnail when we're editing it. We're gonna put that aside, by the way, so you won't actually disturb our workflow. There we go, something like this. Now you could select background. I use a green screen to take a screenshot on Nomad because it's paid to export. So you can actually just reference this to any background whatsoever. I have one here. This looks a little bit complicated. It's not really matching the characters, so we're gonna select another background as a reference. We could select a Bed Wars background, something like this should be all right. But this is not what we're making actually. You could select it to this, which is pretty cool. You just want to position your character to how you want it. It is really useful to use this tool. So if you want to match your character to your background, you want to use this reference image, increase quality, and post process. You should have something like this at the end. Then we're gonna move on to IBIS. Now I'm going to be teaching you some other things you need to know about making Minecraft thumbnails, such as professional thumbnails as well. And we're going to start with posing. So once you have your player on Blockbench, what you want to do here is start rendering your player. And the first thing you want to import is your crossbow, because we're going to do a crossbow pose. And I already have the texture, as always, my folder, but you can get this from literally any texture pack at all, just so it doesn't change the crossbow itself. Now that we have the crossbow, we want to put that aside. We're not going to work with it yet, but first we are going to pose the player itself. So what you want to do here is start with the player. I'm going to start with the legs. So the legs, we're going to just put this one not here, but the other way around. We're gonna put it backwards. This is the right leg, so we're gonna put it backwards. Right, it's about this angle. So you're gonna change that, but that's just first, and we're gonna put that back a little bit, not too far, just a little bit away from the body itself. Something like this should be it. And what you want to do is work with the other leg. Now that's done, we should go to the left leg, which we're going to move forward. We're going to do the same thing we did on the right leg. So we're going to move that forward just a little bit, not too much. We're going to render this up, rotate it up just a little bit, something like this. Then we should bring it up a little bit more, just a little bit more, and just adjust it out just a little bit like that. And here you just want to mess with the player. Actually, this is all about a reference, so I say just look up poses online. Pinterest is like a really good place to look for poses. I use poses a lot to actually as inspiration to make almost all my thumbnails, so you should probably try that. Anyways, you just want to move this up. It's looking at a player up. We're trying to like have a crossbow and the player looking up with the crossbow. So we're going to move the leg down just a little bit. It's way too high. And we're going to repeat that for the other leg, which is the left leg. We're going to move that, oh, wrong direction. I'm going to move that down a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Something like that. Then the left arm is going to want to work with. We want to move this up. We want to move this out, actually, and we want to have it tilting. Just something like this should be it. We want to have this tilting this way, not directly looking forward, but like the hand is tilting itself. And we want to have this up a little bit, something like that. Then we want to work with the right arm, which we're going to move up a little bit. I'm going to move down, actually, not up. I'm going to move down a little bit, or no, a little bit up. That's about it. Then we're going to move it forward, so it's the base of the crossbow, and we're gonna rotate it just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit like that. And we want to put it down a little bit more. And here you just like make it look like it's holding the crossbow. You want to move this up a little bit. This is what trajectory. It's going to trigger the crossbow, so that's the most important. Now that you've got your render in place, you want to use your crossbow. You want to render it with it, and the head, you want to tilt it just a little bit like that. We're still going to fix that though. Then your player is sort of ready. Actually, you actually want to select your crossbow. Then actually, you want to undo this. I'll select your crossbow, and yes, we want to render the crossbow along with the player. That's our goal right now, and you want to just adjust it using the rotation tool on Blockbench. You want to rotate it just like this, somewhat, and just match it with the player exactly. You want to just rotate it with the player, something like this, and you want to just move it to the player, something like that. Then you want to move it closer to the player. Actually, it's kind of far away, and it's moving up, something like this. That's like move it closer a little bit, then a little bit up. The left arm should be a little bit up, and the right arm should be down a little bit, not too much, something like that. And you want to render as always. Now you should always have your reference with you, and we're just gonna adjust the play. Now at the end of the day, it should look something like this, which is actually pretty close. You also want to adjust the legs as well, something like this as well. Just this is moving back just a little bit, and the left leg should be moving some sort of forward, kinda, and should be just rotating out somewhat like this, not too out, and that's it. There is your render, and your player should look like this, which is what we want to achieve. And just hide all this. There you go. Your player is rendered holding a crossbow. So basically, as I said, you could just look at poses. Now, once you're done, you export. You have to have model as always. Remove export animations and confirm. Now you could also screenshot this and save it as an image if you can't pay for Nomad. So like what you want to do is go to view, you see screenshot model, you should see that option, screenshot model, you should see that option, and screenshot model, you want to save it, and it should show you a download file. I have already downloaded this file, so I'm going to download it again, and there we go. Also, I have unique thumbnail makers. There are socials in my description, so you could go check them out for inspiration. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe, and if you want me to add anything, leave in the comments, and if you did enjoy this video, subscribe. Alright?